What's going on, guys? Today's battle is going to be against Leo, aka 6FtHax, aka a guy. If you're not subscribed to him, you should check out his link, which is going to be in the description. He's bringing a Sun team, which if you guys do not know, I really have a hard time playing against Sun teams. I am using my Durant team, which Durant is going to get a little bit of work, but it's going to be later in the battle. I realize that this video is going to be a bit long. However, I did speed up some parts that aren't necessarily the most exciting. I hope you guys do stay around, and while you do, please leave a comment in the comment section. Tell me how to keep myself healthy and not get the flu, because I feel like I'm on that cusp of getting the flu right now. Nonetheless, he's going to lead off with his Ninetales to get up his Sun. I'm going to lead off with my Rotom because I really nothing better to lead off with. And this isn't, a good situation for me, because although I could go for the super effective and stab Hydro Pump, it's going to be in the Sun right now, and he could easily have the Solar Beam and do a lot of damage, despite me being specially defensive. So I'm just going to Volt Switch and seeing what he's going to bring in if he wants to switch out. He's not going to, so I'm going to go into my Jeremy, which I really do like the set right now. However, he's going to make the good play. He's going to go for the Roar, scouting out what my initial switch into his Ninetales is, and he's going to roar me into my Donphan right here. So I'm thinking with the Donphan, he could easily stay in while I can get my rocks up, and while I can, he can either go for maybe the Solar Beam or want to go for the Will-O-Wisp or really any attacking move. I'm going to go right back into my Heatran, as he is going to go for the Willow, allowing me to get the Flash Fire boost. Now this Heatran is timid, and it has more special speed, special speed. It has more speed EVs than the normal timid Heatran. However, I also carry the Shuckle Berry, so if he wanted to bring his own Heatran in on my Fire Blast, I really had no problem. Wow, this is going great. I really had no problem because I could go for the Earth Power. However, he showed me he had the Air Balloon, so that was a complete fail. Now with his flame boosted fire type move, he actually is going to go for the Toxic right here, which is a great opportunity for me to go for the Volt Switch, because if I go for the Volt Switch, I'm either going to scout and get priority about what he wants to bring in, or I can break his Air Balloon and then I can go right back into my Heatran, and one-on-one I will be able to beat him. However, he is going to bring in his Ninetales, which although Leo doesn't play too much OU, it was a good play because he realized that he already has the Sun for the rest of the battle. His Ninetales isn't necessarily going to be the biggest threat to my team. I figured I would bring my Dragonite right here. This is a set that I've been using on multiple teams, and it's really weird, but it has been working. I have the Lumberry, so even if he had to somehow outspeed me and go for the Willow, I would not be burned by the end of this, and I'm just going to go for the Draco. So as he realized that I want to go for the Draco, the special type move that lowered my special attack 2 times, he's going to bring in his Heatran. Now, my other attacking moves is either Fire Blast, which I'm not going to go for, and the Extreme Speed, which again, it's not going to be very effective. I don't want to break his Air Balloon that way, so I'm going to switch out into my Rotom, as he's going to go for the Hidden Power. Now, as you're going to see, it's not going to be very effective, so indicating it's most likely going to be Ice. I made a good play right here, and again, just like the last time his Heatran was in against my Rotom, I am able to go for the Volt Switch and seeing the initiative that I will be able to receive after this turn, or breaking his Air Balloon, which would be quite nice. However, he's going to bring in his Venusaur, and Venusaur with Chlorophyll times 2 speed in the Sun is a big threat to my team. In fact, it's probably it's the second biggest threat in all to this team, which I've since retired. This is a battle from about maybe 1 or 2 weeks ago. But my plan at the moment is going to be to Death Fodder off my Rotom, thinking he was going to go for the Solar Beam because he couldn't put me to sleep. I'm already poisoned. And then I'm going to go into my Dragonite, which if he wants to put me to sleep, again, I do have the Lumberry and I can take him out with my Fire Blast, which is of course boosted in the Sun. Or he'll just attack me and of course have the multi-skill still activated. So instead he's actually going to go for the Growth, and that'll be like, oh shit, if he has HP Ice, he's basically going to sweep me right here. However, I do have that the Sturdy with the Donphan, but I'm going to talk about that later. Anyway, he's going to go for the Hidden Power. I'm like, HP, don't go down too far, and it's not very effective. So I guess he has HP Fire or some Hidden Power that he thought was HP Ice, and that was a big problem in this battle because it's going to mean a lot. I'm going to easily be able to take out his Venusaur right there, and while I don't have my multi-scale still intact, that was a big play. However, he has the #1 big threat to this team, which is a Terrakion. And let me say this, it's going to be a little complicated. So we were in a Skype call, and he's going to go for the close combat right here, as I'm going to bring in my defensive wall, which I thought would be a great Pokemon to take on Terrakion. However, he's like, wow, that did nothing. So I assumed that he was choice Scarf damage because he assumed maybe that he wanted to do more with that. However, that's actually going to be choice banded damage, which just comes to show like he will easily be able to 3-hit KO me against my only defensive wall. So he is going to go for a second close combat, meaning both of his defenses are at -2. I will be able to get up my rocks right here. I couldn't go for the Rapid Spin because there's nothing to spin away unless I want to get 2 HP out on him. And this is actually a really weird Donphan set. For those who came from Ryland's video that I played him. This is the same Donphan set, and I only have one attacking move. I wanted to choose Stone Edge over Earthquake because I thought, you know, the Pokemon flying in the air might as well attack them a little bit. However, of course, that doesn't have too great of accuracy, and it misses a bunch of times. So I'm going to bring in my Breloom right here, which is the Focus Sash variant, and he is going to switch out into his Heatran, which will allow me to get the Spore off on him. I knew he was going to switch out because, well, I could have gone for the Mach Punch, and at -3, I believe, I would have easily been able to take him out. And the fact that, you know, he continued to go for the close combat indicated that he was choice in some way. Now after that, he's going to go into his Cresselia right here, as I am going to go for the Swords Dance. My two attacking moves are the Bullet Seed and the Mach Punch. I'm obviously not going to go for the Mach Punch because it won't be super effective. And although Cresselia is like RU in the 5th gen, it is a monster of a Pokemon. Like, this is why Cresselia was the first best walls in OU in Generation 4, because it takes hits so well. That was a +2 Bullet Seed. Although it only hit like 1 or 2 times, it took it like a fucking tank. Now I realized that Cresselia's recovery move is Moonlight, and I thought in my head, like, okay, even though he has the Moonlight, this is kind of weird because he's in the sun. So I had this picture in my head that it was a really sunny day and a Pokemon going for Moonlight, it wouldn't do the same amount of HP recovery as it would without, you know, the really big sun. However, I'm going to be wrong about that, as I'm going to go for the Fire Blast, which isn't going to be able to take him out despite being boosted by the big sun in the air, as you see in the background of that cute little sun. And he is going to be able to paralyze me, which is fucking horrible, because now he's able to go for the Moonlight. And I was definitely wrong about the move Moonlight not being a completely recovery in the sun, because he's going to get like 80% back, and I'm going to be paralyzed right there. Now I am in a really bad situation. I'm going to continue to go for the Fire Blast because I'm really not sure about what he's going to do. However, he is going to bring in his Heatran, which I'm like, oh, you're going to get the Flash Fire boost, but he's actually sleeping right here. I'm going to get paralyzed. I don't think that really mattered too much. But I really do want to break his Air Balloon because he's pissing me off with that Air Balloon Heatran. So I'm actually going to go for the Hidden Power, which is Hidden Power Grass. It wouldn't do anything to the Heatran, but it would break the Air Balloon. But I'm going to get super effective damage on this Terrakion, which I'm like, oh, that's awesome. So I'm going to go for the Protect. I will actually not get paralyzed, see what he's going to lock himself into, and it's going to be the close combat. So I'm thinking to myself, might as well Death Fodder myself off. There is no chance I'm going to live this. However, after this, he's going to be at the -1, and that will allow me to bring in my Dragonite, and perhaps with the Extreme Speed, maybe take him out if I'm lucky. If not, you know, he's just going to get Stealth Rocks damage on more Pokemon. This is pretty much the only opportunity I have against this Terrakion. As you see, I'm pretty much Terrakion weak. Any one of its moves, I believe it's going to be super effective against one of my Pokemon. He is going to bring in his Heatran at this point, which is still asleep, but it still has the Air Balloon. I believe I'm just going to go for the Draco, which I don't really care if it missed at this point. However, it would be nice if it hit because I'm not necessarily concerned about the damage it's going to do, but I'll finally be able to break its balloon, which is not the best because my Heatran is already dead, so I can't combat his with mine. However, he is going to switch out, and he's going to go into his Never Forgets, which is his own Donphan, which is a bit of a problem for me because Donphan will be able to take a majority of the attacks from the majority of my team. However, I am going to make the nice prediction right here, thinking he was going to go into either his Donphan or maybe his Cresselia, and then I can go into my Rotom to either perhaps burn his Cresselia, or I can just go for the Hydro Pump on whatever Pokemon and all that stuff. I decided to actually go for the Will-O-Wisp, thinking I just want to break his 30 so I can then go for a Hydro Pump and perhaps take him out. I'm not sure about the damage with the sun, how much a Hydro Pump would do, but I'm going to miss it. So he's going to get the free rocks up. I'm going to go for Willow again, meaning he could easily go for the Rapid Spin right here and take away my rocks for the whole game, which he's going to do, which is like, wow, that sucks, even though there's not too many Pokemon that takes too much of their HP percentage to the Stealth Rocks. However, his 30 is finally going to be broken, so if I want to, I could go for the Hydro Pump right here. However, I am going to go for the Pain Split because I figured, why wouldn't I want more HP on my side of the field? I actually thought he might want to bring in his Cresselia because his Donphan pretty much did everything he wanted to do, so that would be nice to get his Cresselia HPs down. Instead, I will be able to get some nice damage on that Donphan with the Pain Split. And now next turn, I'm going to switch into my Dragonite because, again, I wanted to take out this Cresselia, and because I still have my Lumberry, I thought I would be able to 2KO with the Fire Blast, and his Lumberry, my Lumberry would mean that he could not paralyze me. However, he's going to stay in with his Donphan yet again, and I'm like, well, I made an over prediction, gotta make sure an Ice Shard will not be able to take me out. Did a quick damage calc, realized I will be able to take it pretty well, and while I do carry 3 attacking moves on my Dragonite, I also carry the Roost, so I am going to go for that as he's going to get the crit, which I'm like, oh, thank God that didn't do too much. And afterwards, I'm going to be gaining, I believe, more HP than I started with at the beginning of this turn. However, it's pretty unlikely that he's going to get another crit, so I'm going to stay in here and go for the roost. It would be nice to eventually get my multi-scale up because, you know, it's only going to mean that he's going to get stalled out more, and his Donphan will not have too much HP after the Will-O-Wisp damage and all that stuff. He is not going to get the second crit, which means I'm still able to just go for the roost. I'm almost at multi-scale, however, I really don't necessarily need that because he does have the priority move over me, and unless I'm able to get him to a point where my extreme speed will be able to take him out before he goes for an ice shard, I figured that wouldn't be realistic, so I am just going to go for the Fire Blast, and that will be able to take him out. I'm not too concerned about the whole multi-scale right here. However, he does have the Ice Beam on his Cresselia, so I kind of made a bad play right there. I thought he would actually go for the Thunder Wave this turn, thinking I wouldn't want to stay in, but he is going to go for the Ice Beam as my Fire Blast really didn't do too much, and of course ×4 super effective will be able to take out my bro right there. So I'm going to bring my Rotom. I'm really running out of options. My only other option to take this guy out is to bring in my Durant, get one Hoenn Claws, and with the super effective and Stab X Scissor, that should do a significant amount of damage. So that is my plan right here. He's going to bring in his Heatran as it is still asleep. I'm going to go for the Will-O-Wisp just because I want to get some residual damage on that Cresselia. I need to find out a way that if he has his Cresselia in, I could bring in my Durant and not get Thunder Wave while I just get up a Hoenn Claws. That's not going to be the situation. He still has a sleeping Heatran right here, so I am going to go for the Voltwitch. And after the Voltwitch, I think I'm just going to go into my Breloom because he only has 2 Pokemon left, one being his Cresselia, one being his Terrakion right there. My thought process was I can either sleep one of them or I can take one of them, aka being the Terrakion, out with a Mach Punch. So that was my plan, as he is going to bring in his Terrakion. However, at the end of this turn, he, I believe, is going to make a nice switch. No, I'm going to make the switch. I'm going to go into my Durant, thinking that he was going to double switch into his Cresselia to make as a sleep fodder, knowing that his only chance after that would be able to survive with his Terrakion. But he's actually going to lock himself into the quick attack. That's what it's called. Finally, I have the opportunity with my Durant to do some work in OU. This is a monster of a Pokemon, and with the Hoenn Claws, we'll be at +1. I'm going to be able to take out his Cresselia, and at this point, I'm like, okay, I will be able to take out his Cresselia if I hit this move, and because his Terrakion is Choice Scarfed, I will be able to then attack him, or rather I can Death Fodder off my Durant and finish him off with the Breloom to be a 1-0 good game. However, he is going to bring in his Terrakion next turn, and as you're going to see, I believe, I mean this battle was a while ago, but I will be able to actually outspeed him, meaning he was Choice Banded all along, so that was a mindfuck. However, I just said Devin, oh my god, Kevin Durant got the big move. I win. That was a really good match. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, thumbs up. Tell me if you guys, liked all this long battle stuff. It was a good battle. Nonetheless, thanks guys for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, and as always, hello.